Jay's definitely.
Jay helped you?
Yeah.
How did he
As a
help you?
competitor.
Explain it.
Yeah, because he never was someone that you communicate with that you're like friends with the person. But I always respected him because he was never an actual competitor in actual fact. He was someone who was a competitor through perception.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up.
How close was Diddy and Jay-Z? They was close enough that they wasn't playing basketball, they wasn't playing baseball, they wasn't playing football, and they wasn't playing hockey or soccer for Diddy to come on stage, pat him on his, and then make the statement to people in the world that can't nobody call me Sean but Jay-Z.
And B was, one time she jumped off of the ledge, came running over because she thought me and Jay had issues, and I was like, what the? And I was like, did she really just jump down and run over here like that?
Beyoncé jumped off a ledge.
Yeah, what happened? It was in the Cosmopolitan, huh?
She really a superhero.
She jumped down and no, she was like, this what? Like that Bonnie and Clyde for real? You try this or what, boy? I'm here.
Word.
She down like at me. I said,
Was Solange with her?
She looked at me like that.
A fresh storm is forming, stitching together old whispers, recent controversies, and long-forgotten claims. And at the center is 50 Cent, a figure who has spent decades challenging what he sees as untouchable power inside the entertainment world. This time, the focus is widened. According to his latest remarks, the story no longer circles a single mogul, but expands towards some of the most influential names in pop culture, including Jay-Z, Beyoncé, and Oprah Winfrey. Icons long discussed in speculation, but rarely addressed head-on. The tension escalated when 50 hinted that he holds new unseen material connected to the same elite network, recently under public scrutiny, teasing that his recent documentary was only the opening act. Then came the words that ignited social media. "You're next." Fans quickly connected the message to Jay-Z and Beyoncé, questioning the timing and intent, especially given past associations within powerful inner circles. As conversations reignited, attention turned to how tightly linked these figures have been over the years through business ties, shared spaces, and overlapping influence, fueling debate about whether long-protected relationships are finally facing public re-examination as archived material and unanswered questions resurface.
These were private conversations, and that he and Diddy could talk openly, and Mark could talk to Diddy not just as a client, but as a person, and tried to guide him in a time leading up to his arrest. And unbeknownst to Mark Agnifilo, Diddy has got this guy recording the conversation as he's sitting there saying, "You are screwing this up. You are messing up this case. We're losing." And knowing that that's on tape. And it's almost like he's performing for the camera and not telling Mark what's going on. And the really enraging part about it is that Mark Agnifilo won this case for Diddy with legal strategy. It wasn't just an accident that this jury that had heard all of this in the news before the trial voted not guilty on all the serious charges. It was Mark Agnifilo that did that. Yet Diddy secretly records this guy and embarrasses him. And yeah, you could say, well, Diddy never expected that it would end up being broadcast somewhere else. Well, okay, but Diddy was planning on using it, or he wouldn't have had it recorded in the first place. So it's just really, really unfair. And I know that in a way this sounds crazy, that I'm getting so upset about Diddy, and yet there's video of Diddy beating Cassie. Well, that's horrendous, but that doesn't mean you can't look at something else as well. And I just think, as a lawyer, I just think this is just so outrageous that he would do something like this, and not even understanding what Agnifilo's legal theory was. Because I will tell you that when we did our first documentary on Diddy, which was 8 months before the trial, Mark Agnifilo said to me on camera that he is going to tell this jury that this was a successful black man that prosecutors were trying to take down because they couldn't get into his bank accounts because they were clean, and he couldn't deal with tax. They couldn't deal with taxes because he wasn't committing tax fraud. So they go into his bedroom. And that's what Mark Agnifilo said 8 months before. And he goes into the trial and he essentially wins that argument. Whether you believe it or not, a jury that sat through the whole thing, they believed it. And ultimately they convicted him on this BS Mann Act thing. So Diddy won that case. And one of the reasons he won the case is something that Agnifilo got criticized for. That when he did the documentary with me, he was making a joke about the baby oil. Remember, he said, oh, well, you know, I didn't know he bought in bulk. He must have bought 1,000 bottles at Costco. And a lot of people just slammed him for that and said, how dare you? You're being disrespectful. The baby oil is the smoking gun in this case. Agnifilo knew all along that the baby oil was Diddy's best defense, because when Agnifilo got before that jury in closing arguments, he looked at them and he said, well, the feds came in with their armor and artillery and guns. And what did they do? They got 1,000 bottles of baby oil off the streets. Ooh, he said, the streets are safer now. And the jury laughed. And that laugh told Agnifilo he should keep going on that. And that the trial itself was absurd because
Fans also resurfaced memories of 50 Cent previously accusing Jay-Z of quietly shielding powerful entertainment circles, reinforcing his long-standing claim that elite figures protect one another behind closed doors. This time, the tension feels heavier because 50 has proven he's willing to put everything on record, having already released a globally watched documentary that pulled private matters into public view. So when he said, "You're next," people paid attention. To grasp the weight of that warning, you have to look at the history between the two, which dates back to the early 2000s and was competitive from the start, marked by industry friction, public lyrical jobs, and personal rivalry. While Jay-Z evolved into a reserved power broker, quietly expanding influence through brands, partnerships, and elite connections, 50 Cent carved out his lane as a vocal disruptor, building his empire through media, business, and bold confrontation. They represent opposite philosophies of power, one operating through silence, the other through pressure. And that contrast is exactly why when 50 speaks out, the industry and the public stop to listen.
Like 50 Cent has set his sights on someone new after the Diddy Netflix documentary. If you aren't aware, 50 Cent has been getting insane feedback from the Netflix documentary he made on Diddy. Sean Combs' The Reckoning is what it's called, and it's #1 all over Netflix, beating even Stranger Things. Diddy himself has responded to it, saying the stories are false, of course, denying everything, and even trying to do a cease and desist on the Netflix documentary. And after this Diddy documentary, a lot of people have been wondering who's the next person that deserves to get exposed. And Jay-Z is the one that a lot of people are pointing their finger at. And the reason why Jay-Z's been getting a lot of this type of backlash is because Jay-Z was really close to Diddy. At one point, Diddy was even calling him his brother, and that Jay-Z's the only one that can call him his real name, Sean. That maybe there's something on Jay-Z's side that has been going on behind the scenes. Now, there hasn't been any solid proof yet, but Nicki Minaj has been going at Jay-Z for quite some time, talking about Jay-Z is manipulative and he steals, and he's been pushing a narrative, and that Roc Nation has control and power over a lot of things. And I can kind of understand where she's coming from to a certain extent. We got to remember when Jay-Z went up on the Grammy stage and said Beyoncé never won Album of the Year and complained about that, literally the following year, Beyoncé wins Album of the Year, which is just something like, if that doesn't show you that there is some power going on there, that there is something behind the scenes that Jay-Z controls, it's clear as day that it's all politics on who wins Grammys, you know, who gets the better light and things. So that kind of opened my eyes, you know, as to Roc Nation's power and how they manipulate things in the media. I'll never forget, Jay-Z would get this like special treatment all the time when it comes to the media. I mean, Hot 97, when they interviewed Jay-Z, they literally rolled out a red carpet. They never did that for any other artist. So Jay-Z's always had this kind of special treatment when it came to things. But now the question is Jay-Z involved in crazier things? I mean, there's been a lot of speculation in a lot of different ways, and people are pointing their attention towards 50 Cent wanting him to do a Jay-Z documentary. And it looks like he might actually do it, because on Instagram, he posted a drawing of Jay-Z that kind of makes fun of his looks. And he posted that photo and he said this in the caption: "Please stop sending me stuff like this. I'm not going to post it." Basically making a joke, because obviously he posted it on his social media. But, and here's the interesting but in this, is someone commented on the post and the comment got liked by 50 Cent. And this is the comment. It's from Dom KMDA. I hope I pronounced that right. Dom Kanmada. He commented saying, "My only question, he's next, isn't he?" And 50 ended up liking that comment. And here's the thing. I actually saw this on Twitter and X, whatever, Twitter X, whatever you want to call it. And I wanted to confirm, is this real? Because a lot of people Photoshop these type of things just to create drama and create this speculation. So I actually DM'd the guy himself and I showed him the photo and I asked him, "Hey, is this a real photo? Did 50 like your comment?" He said, "Hey, yes, he did." And I was like, perfect. Thank you for confirming. Thought it was Photoshopped. LOL. Appreciate the response. And he said, "I was surprised as well. Didn't see that coming." So shout out to him for, responding to my DM and confirming that, the comment actually got liked by 50, because, a lot of people Photoshop and spread narratives. So me being the proper journalist, or whatever you want to call me, news reporter, I, wanted to go get to the source and see if it was actually real. There's also something that's very interesting that went over a lot of people's heads, and that's the documentary coming out on December 2nd. That Diddy documentary coming out on that date. Literally 2 days later, you have Jay-Z's birthday, December 4th, which to me sends a subliminal message to Jay-Z that you're next. So that's crazy. That just, to me, shows that 50 is potentially gonna work on something going at Jay-Z, and he might get Nicki Minaj involved, because Nicki Minaj has a huge issue with Jay-Z with a lot of things, and I don't even know the full details of that, because she's gone at Jay-Z for...
As the years went on, Jay-Z continued moving within circles of immense influence, aligning himself with major figures across entertainment, media, and corporate power. And every time 50 Cent sensed something he believed was being quietly buried, he responded with sarcasm, coded posts, or sharp commentary, but never a direct warning until now. This moment feels different because for the first time 50 has implied he possesses material that could impact the Carters directly, and fans know he doesn't make claims lightly. When he says he is evidence, it usually surfaces. That alone pushed Jay-Z and Beyoncé into the center of intense online debate, which soon expanded to include Oprah Winfrey, leaving many wondering how she entered the conversation. The connection traces back to renewed public criticism surrounding Oprah and 50's long-standing skepticism of how she uses her influence, accusing her of applying pressure unevenly and choosing selective narratives during major cultural moments. He has openly questioned her past media priorities, contrasted her investigative focus with her previous associations, and never hid his frustration over being excluded from her platform. History that now adds another layer to why her name is resurfacing alongside the industry's most powerful figures as scrutiny grows louder.
Oprah, Epstein, he was running with that whole crew. They want to know how we're going to do it, how the public is going to take him. Is the public going to let him back in? And the public is not. The public is already canceling him. I don't believe the industry has canceled him yet. All those people who went to those Diddy parties, not one of them had came out and denounced what he has done. I haven't heard one of them. I have not heard one person denounce, "Well, man, let God handle it. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here with that. If that was your daughter, would you let God handle it?" All those people, they ain't denounced him. They ain't definitely, they can't come forward and say, "Yo, I support him," because it would mess up their brand. It would mess up their brand. Jay-Z, we the only one could call each other Sean. Jay is the only one could call me Sean. I'm the only one could call him Sean. Get the hell out of here. If that ain't no fun boy stuff. But you ain't had not one person, brother, not one person sit there and denounce what he did.
But the narrative runs even deeper as long-standing criticism surrounding Oprah Winfrey has resurfaced alongside renewed industry debate over the years. Several prominent Black entertainers have publicly shared concerns about how they were treated in high-profile interviews or business situations, describing moments they felt were misrepresented, misunderstood, or undervalued. And 50 Cent has openly echoed support for many of those perspectives. Additional scrutiny has revisited past controversies connected to Oprah's international initiatives, which, despite investigations and clarifications over time, left lasting questions in the public conversation. While more extreme online theories have circulated and largely been dismissed as unfounded, still the lingering debate continues to shape perception. And with 50 already challenging one powerful figure through a global documentary, fans speculate that other influential names could face similar attention, especially after his claim that future revelations may involve the least expected people. In entertainment, influence rarely moves in isolation, and the professional paths of Oprah, Jay-Z, Beyoncé, and Diddy have intersected repeatedly through interviews, events, philanthropy, and public praise, reinforcing the idea that elite networks are tightly woven and now increasingly scrutinized.
Beyoncé didn't want to speak and does not speak to Brandy. And the truth of the matter is that she go back there with Monica and Kelly, and there go Patti LaBelle, and then there goes Solange, all right? And there's a reason why Solange is around as well. Because if you guys don't know, for a while, Solange and Beyoncé actually were not on speaking terms, but they're back talking now, they're back cool, and basically Solange is around to keep Beyoncé spiritually protected. Solange is the spiritual protector of that family. Don't get it twisted. Mama Tina is powerful. Solange is the most powerful list. You better ask some damn body. All right. Now, the reason why Beyonce ain't came to speak to Brandy, baby, is because Beyonce does not talk to anyone who used to sleep with Jay-Z. Okay. Whether you guys know it or not, and I have to say allegedly, right? Jay-Z and Brandy used to talk back in the day. And by back in the day, I mean like late 90s type stuff, right? Brandy always kept Jay-Z on the low back in the day because, quite honestly, he was too ugly to be out in public with. I'm just keeping it real. To claim him publicly, he was too ugly back in the day. Now, when you try to search up pictures of Jay-Z and Brandy, you will find... Hold up, let me see. Hold up. Let me see, because I thought I had a picture of them two. Brandy and Jay-Z. Now this would have been from let's see, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Brandy and Jay-Z. Okay, there we go. Now this picture of them was in 2002. All right, and this was I think was at one of her album release parties, if I'm not mistaken. This was a year after Moesha Rap, because Moesha went off air in 2001. Yes, he was dealing with Beyonce at the time as well, and Blue Cantrell. He was, let me tell you, Jay-Z was laying it low and spreading it wide. Jay-Z was one of those dudes in the industry that, you know, you messed around with. He piped you down, but before he was really him, you did not claim him publicly because he was just simply too ugly. It was what it was. But Jay-Z was in love with Brandy then. He's not in love with her now, but he still has love and feelings towards her. He's one of those people that feels like once he done had you and once he done loved you, he always feels like he has like possession over you. Jay-Z is one of those kind of men, baby. I don't know if they told you. Jay-Z is extremely jealous, extremely controlling, and extremely possessive. That's another reason why. Hold up. Where'd the picture go? Wait a minute. Where'd the picture go? That's another reason why Beyonce up here. Wait. Anyway, y'all get the point. That's another reason why Beyonce, over the years, a lot of the music that she's made, it's always been with him. A lot of the remixes, it's always been with him or somebody that he approves of her to work with. Okay. Jay-Z was so damn controlling, he didn't even want her father, talking about Matthew Knowles now, he didn't want her father managing her anymore, and he stepped in. And if y'all notice, when Jay-Z stepped in as Beyonce's manager, the music changed, everything changed and the money started to get effed up. But that's another story for another day. We're not getting on that right now. We're sticking with Brandy and Jay-Z right now. So they started messing around on the low in the 90s. Even to the early 2000s, they were still messing around. I'm not exactly sure which year the relationship officially ended, but just know that Jay-Z was just basically good for, that was what he gave. He gave big, I don't know no other way to put it, but he was like, for the ladies that's watching, you know, like if you ever dealt with like a tall, ugly with big pipe, you went to him to get piped down, but you would not like ever like claim him like that because he was just super ugly. It was what it was. And before he really blew up, didn't nobody want to be seen with him like that. It is what it is. And quite frankly, Jay-Z dated a lot of your favorite female stars from back in the day.
Diddy and Jay-Z also shared a long-gunning professional relationship, collaborating on music, appearing side by side at high-profile events, and moving within the same elite luxury spaces, which has fueled the belief that these upper-tier circles exchange influence, access, and information behind the scenes. This is precisely the kind of tightly connected network that 50 Cent suggests is now under pressure, especially after public comments from Ray J added more fuel by claiming that prominent figures linked to Diddy were growing uneasy over what might surface next. He hinted that well-known names were quietly creating distance, prompting online conversations to intensify. In those discussions, Jay-Z and Beyoncé are often mentioned not as targets of accusations, but as central figures within the same environments, the same award shows, exclusive gatherings, investment rooms, and inner layers of Hollywood power. Their visibility within these spaces keeps them part of the conversation, reinforcing the idea that when scrutiny hits one corner of the elite, the entire circle feels the ripple.
Signed his contract. The big one was with Beyonce. Mm-hmm. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, listen, if you look at his career,
You're gonna let him say that? Jay was getting Grammys.
He had one. Exactly. He had one.
And he ain't show up.
He has like 20 now. He had like 18 since he's been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
You're not wrong.
He was one. At the same time, he got some shit. He started drinking. His pictures with him. He thinks the cup.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
I've absolutely been treated differently.
The accolades.
Because he's no longer viewed as what, like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh, wow.
Right? You were connected to the biggest.
Jay got it for the music. Jay got it for the music.
You didn't see.
He deserved those.
I'm sitting there, he's like this, like Black excellence. They're sitting there like, yeah. It's a billionaire brunch.
Oh,
Like,
I hate you, man.
Unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you this year. Yeah.
Yeah,
Come on, bro.
I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. He just looking at his watch during the whole Rock Nation, bro. Like, is it 3:30?
Yeah, it's almost time to get out. Yo, I feel like I'm normal again. Get me out of here.
Oh wow! So that's the deal he signed, huh?
Yeah, that's the deal. Like, the other ones didn't count as much as that one did.
Oh, yeah, before I forget this, we talked about Jay. Proximity to Diddy. You don't think he knew anything? He's seemingly around Diddy a lot.
That was a real suburb question.
Yeah, I know, right?
Proximity.
Proximity.
Proximity. That's an SAT hit parade word. I had to learn that.
Do you think he knew all of the shit that was going on? Yeah, that was like a...
I don't want to incriminate myself.
I know, but the way he said it...
Like I said...
No matter how you answer that, you snitching.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a nice kind of...
You asked the question like a fan.
Hey, I grew up with white people, but one thing I know is how to get a black guy in trouble.
But it's a great question.
Yo, just give him the Happy Meal before you ask him to snitch, bro. You said, damn, it wasn't even drinking.
Speaking of, how the hell you pronounce
Leshimindua.
Okay.
It's the King's Path.
King's Path.
Because I know Branson. That's the one I pronounce.
Branson. That's the Branson lifestyle. You're going to be outside.
You're not worried that if you throw little and you don't throw out allegations, but like you kind of poke fun at them.
You just ask questions.
You're not worried that it comes back your way? Like people dig up your past and try to pull stuff up?
I don't got to in my past.
Everybody got a little bit.
Look,
like, not that it's real enough.
I took a pill. But it was for me to perform better. For her to remember, buddy. I didn't give her a drink so she forget what the...
This is why 50 Cent's warning carries real weight. It isn't built on idle talk, but on visible connections that quietly link past controversies, public silence, and carefully managed images into one fragile power structure. In his view, Hollywood's elite networks no longer command fear, and he's made it clear he intends to challenge them head-on. The impact of the recent documentary didn't stop with one individual. It sent shockwaves through anyone who shared spaces, deals, or private moments within that circle, from artists and executives to public figures far beyond entertainment. Once 50 hinted at more projects on the way, the reaction was immediate. Legal teams revisiting old matters, public relations strategies shifting overnight, appearances can-led, and digital footprints quietly erased. None of this proves wrongdoing, but it amplified public curiosity because sudden silence and distance raised questions of their own. The film revealed a long pattern of troubling behavior that many now claim they sensed but ignored. And that leaves one unavoidable question echoing louder than ever. Who noticed the signs and who chose not to act?
Combs The Reckoning, the 50 Cent Diddy doc. First and foremost, we've been talking about this thing, Jack, for going on 2 years now. And once again, thank you for even being, I guess you could say, a beacon during this whole conversation as far as kind of spreading light on a lot of things that go down in the industry that, you know, the normal person may not even see or hear about that happens in the day-to-day. Did you really think 50 Cent, when he first mentioned it, that there was an actual documentary being worked on?
Well, see, this is the thing. I can believe that it was happening. At what purpose? See, and that's the thing. Like, my opinion about all of this stuff is so much different than your average person's, and my outlook is so much different than your average person's. Did I believe that it was possible? Absolutely. Why wouldn't he be able to do a documentary? Why wouldn't he be able to bring in Alexandria to come and put this together? Like, the woman who directed this, she doesn't even seem to have a background in hip hop at all.
That makes sense.
So it's like, yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. I mean, for crying out loud, Diddy sent him freak off videos.
True. Very true.
Interviews.
Very true.
About it.
Did you feel that just 50 Cent's name being attached to it again? These are two, as everyone knows, the three names in hip hop are Jay-Z, Diddy, 50 Cent when it comes to the status of where you could get as a business or a brand.
I guess so.
So for the top three individuals, for one to go at the other and release this doc, I don't know, what does that say to again, I keep asking about the hip hop state of things. What does that say to hip hop? Like, are we our own downfall? I guess I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It all depends on what you consider hip hop. Like, I don't consider any of this debauchery, any of this animalistic crap. I don't consider any of this hip hop. I grew up in hip hop. You know, I know what hip hop culture is, and it's none of this stuff that people are selling.
I mean, when did it stop being hip hop? We're gonna go through the documentary itself, but when did it stop?
It stopped being hip hop when it became corporatized. It stopped being hip hop when certain groups of people saw that they could use it to influence the mass public. When people saw how influential hip hop was, it became very clear. Once upon a time, not long ago where people wore pajamas and lived life still. You know, the laws were stern and justice stood and people were behaving like they ought to good. There lived a little boy and he was misled by another little boy, and this is what he said: me and you, can we go make some cash, robbing old folks and making the dash?
Come on.
Like, they did the job and money came with ease, but one couldn't stop us like he had a disease. He robbed another and another and a sister and a brother. Tried to rob a man who was a detective undercover.
Jay-Z has been seen at exclusive gatherings. Beyoncé has appeared at events tied to influential circles. And Oprah has publicly praised figures who are now facing heightened scrutiny. None of this implies involvement, but it places their names in the same conversations, which is enough to draw intense online attention. That's why 50 Cent's warning feels serious when he says this is only the beginning and more names are coming, especially after already challenging one of hip-hop's most powerful figures. Many ask why 50 is leading this moment, and the answer is straightforward. Unlike others, he doesn't depend on access, approval, or alliances to survive. While Jay-Z, Diddy, Oprah, and Beyoncé built influence through carefully maintained networks and image control, 50 built his power through independence, owning his media ventures, businesses, and voice outright. That freedom allows him to say publicly what others only discuss in private, to confront figures considered untouchable, and to release work that sends shock waves through an industry built on silence. His reputation rests on evidence, documentation, and verifiable records, not empty claims, which is why audiences take him seriously. In a system that thrives on quiet compliance, someone who speaks loudly and backs it up becomes a real threat. And that's why when 50 warned that even the most powerful should stay alert, people believed him without hesitation.
In front of a bunch of people in the studio, me and him got into it that night. And we started snapping and joking and talking to each other. When he said about Danny DeCane, he said, they gonna keep on messing with me. Or he said the word effing with me. They gonna keep on effing with me, and I'm gonna when you hear people saying this, this is crazy. This is so crazy right now, because I heard him say it. But to know that he was doing it, it's a whole nother thing. It's a whole nother light right now, bro. He said it. I'ma drug them out and pimp them out to my they keep with me. And he was talking about Danny DeCane as a group. He didn't single out any one of them. But to hear that he did it, that's just crazy to me. We had a big argument and we started talking about each other and what had and what he didn't have. He was calling me, yo, you broke cop. This like, you ain't got nothing I ain't got. I got a watch, you got a watch. I got a ring, you got a ring, I got a chain, I got a home. We went through that whole like that. We start talking about his teeth. You understand? I start talking about, him, his breath, everything. We was going at each other. That next day at his house, he said, yo, Gene, he called me upstairs. And he said, yo, Gene, I couldn't talk to him like that no more in front of people and everything like that. Because I know me and Puff go back from the same gang since 89, 90 when he got jumped in it. You understand? We go back way to that time. So I knew him. You understand? He was like a little nephew. So when he started talking to him, I said, yo, listen here, bro. You don't say shit about me, I won't say shit about you. If you say something, you open up your mouth about me, I'm going to talk about all your green dentures and all that like that. We're not playing them games, bro. You say, all right, Gene, cool. You understand? People don't understand, bro. The love and the power I had, not only in Harlem, Queens, I had dudes all over New York City, from the Bronx, everybody that had mad love for me because I looked out. You understand? I made sure, that people needed knowledge and information on certain things. They had a lot of people that was on parole that was in the music business. I used to save guys by letting them know their rights and what the people could and couldn't do to them. So I had a lot of genuine love from a lot of dudes. You don't be around a K. Slay for over 20-something years, a Chaz Williams over 20-something years, and be some kind of sucker. and was right next to him, doing all their functions, all their situations and everything like that, running security for them, making sure their people were safe in the whole 9 yards. You understand? I had my man Pete, I had people calling me, look out for Nate Dogg when he come to New York. Look out for Mac 10, look out for Exhibit, doing stuff like that, Good Brothers and everything like that. So what I'm trying to say to you is that, bro, is that to be at that type of status and be that type of person and do the things that I did, you understand? I had to have people who were.
Right now, the biggest question is what the unreleased footage actually reveals. And while 50 Cent hasn't shared specifics, public speculation suggests it ties directly to the same elite Hollywood spaces highlighted in the recent documentary: private gatherings, off-sea camera moments, business environments, and conversations that were never meant to be public. The prevailing belief isn't that it shows Jay-Z or Beyoncé committing wrongdoing, but that it may expose what certain influential figures knew, witnessed, or chose to overlook within those circles. And in the court of public opinion, awareness can be just as powerful as action. If material surfaces indicating that respected names recognize troubling patterns yet remain silent, the response could be intense, especially amid growing calls for accountability and transparency. The footage may also shed light on how tightly protected networks operated for years, revealing how influence, loyalty, and silence help shield reputations across the industry. That kind of exposure unsettles powerful people more than direct accusations. Because once the full picture is visible, alliances weaken and narratives collapse. This is why 50 appears so confident about what comes next. He understands the moment, knows the attention is locked in, and believes his next release could fundamentally change how Hollywood power is viewed.
Has been working on this documentary for almost 2 years. The footage he has is insane. The people he got speaking about Diddy is ridiculous. And on top of that, the only place he agrees to do the interview, Rob, if you can show this, he goes and interviews with ABC, and there's an Instagram post he put up, Rob. I don't know if you have that or not. If you go on his Instagram account, he goes and does the interview about Diddy's documentary on ABC, and they say the reason why he did it on ABC, it's that one right there, Rob, the one you had it on, is because ABC News Station is one of only few stations they're allowed to watch in prison. With that smile. So he wants Diddy to know the world is watching.
Social media erupted the moment 50 Cent suggested that Jay-Z and Beyoncé should stay alert, sparking a wave of intense and divided reactions, some accusing him of overreaching, others saying he was voicing what many have quietly believed for years. The debate quickly expanded into a broader critique of an entertainment industry that critics argue has long shielded a small circle of ultra-powerful figures, often naming Oprah, Jay-Z, Beyoncé, Diddy, Tyler Perry, and others as symbols of that protected elite. Many see 50 as one of the few with enough independence and reach to challenge that structure openly, which is why old stories suddenly resurfaced with new meaning. Accounts of exclusive gatherings, unspoken alliances, careers that stalled after uncomfortable truths were raised, creatives who felt underpaid or unheard, and voices that were dismissed rather than protected. By connecting these scattered memories into a single forceful narrative, 50 is amplifying a larger conversation about influence, silence, and control, pushing the public to question how power has truly operated behind the scenes for decades.
Not only did he not pay the cameraman, he didn't even tell his own lawyers. Plus this latest from 50 Cent and Diddy's own mom. Boo, you gotta watch this one. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor. As all of us around the world realize that the footage from the Netflix special Diddy, The Reckoning, or The Reckoning, Sean Combs, that footage of Sean came out because he didn't pay the cameraman. Well, it gets even worse. It gets even worse. Backstabbed on camera, Netflix's Diddy documentary reveals mogul secretly taped his defense attorney during case meltdown. He did not tell Agnifilo. Now, I don't know how that works. Let's watch this, because in this moment, you can kind of see.
Many believe the timing couldn't be sharper. The recent case is still unfolding. Public attention is locked in. Those who felt unheard are speaking up. And media outlets are finally questioning figures once treated as untouchable, creating the perfect opening for 50 Cent to move. At this point, Whether Jay-Z or Beyoncé did anything wrong isn't the central issue. What matters is their place within a larger system. People are eager to understand, and when 50 says he is footage, audiences take him seriously. His warning has effectively launched a new chapter in the conversation about entertainment power, summed up in a message that echoed across the internet. You're next. Even without naming names, fans immediately linked it to Jay-Z, Beyoncé, and Oprah. Figures connected through shared circles, long-standing influence, and decisions that critics had debated for years. With new material reportedly in his possession, 50 appears ready to peel back another layer of industry secrecy. A rare move in a world where most choose silence over risk. He has already shaken the system once. And now he's signaling a follow-up, making it clear that whether the revelations involve awareness, silence, or behind-the-scenes dynamics, the spotlight is brighter than ever, and the stakes have never been higher.
Included in a documentary produced by 50 Cent shows Combs capturing confidential exchanges with his attorney, Mark Agnifilo, who, according to those familiar with the situation, had no idea he was being filmed or recorded. Revelation has ignited a firestorm within the legal community and raised questions about Combs' conduct during one of the most sensitive periods of his legal battle. Is anyone surprised, though? Come on. Netflix documentary featured material shot by the videographer Diddy hired to chronicle his life during what he described as a turbulent time. In the clips, Combs appeared frustrated and angry with Agnifilo and the entire defense team as they discuss his impending arrest. He is heard accusing his lawyers of losing control of the case and mishandling key aspects of his legal defense. Well, I mean, you're guilty on a lot of it, so it was kind of hard for them. They did, I would say, damn good job given the circumstances. Sources close to Agnifilo say he was unaware Diddy had commissioned someone to record the phone calls, much less their private strategy sessions. The inclusion of this footage in a publicly released documentary now places Agnifilo in an uncomfortable and unprecedented position with conversations that should have remained protected.
Fans are now asking whether this could be the moment that reshapes public trust in entertainment's most powerful figures. With some wondering if the next documentary will impact careers, reputations, and long-standing partnerships, while others believe it could finally bring clarity to years of unanswered questions or spark complete disruption. One thing, however, feels undeniable. 50 Cent is far from done. His warning wasn't casual and it wasn't humor. It was a declaration of intent. As anticipation builds, the real question lingers in the air. When this new footage is finally revealed, will Jay-Z, Beyoncé, and Oprah be prepared for how the public responds? Share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe to stay locked in for what comes next. And as always, stay sharp and stay